Judas Priest, Matt Pike, and Ozzy Osbourne walk into a bar. Knock, knock, who's there? It's Last Words on the Pit. Hit the intro. Wow, that was a real intro. Can you believe it? Welcome back to Last Words on the Pit. I'm your host, Jordan Knowles, and I'm here with Katy and Travis. Let's get right into it. Judas Priest, 50th anniversary tour. Are we excited?
Yes, big time. They're actually doing a Philly date this time. I was really bummed because like the closest show to me was like 5 hours away when they just did their small venue tour.
Yeah.
So I'm so stoked. They're playing local and 50 years, man, and they still got it.
It's exhausting. It's a long time to play music for, but
Yeah.
I mean, this is the second week in a row we're getting like a 50th anniversary. In certain circles, there's like an argument about, you know, who really started heavy metal. Most people are like Black Sabbath, but there's the few that are like, Judas Priest started metal. I don't really know if that's true, but they started the type of metal that I love.
Yes, yeah.
They've been a million different bands throughout their history, and every single one is exciting. Like the first time I heard Painkiller, I thought it was a different singer.
Oh no! Don't ever besmirch the name of Judas Priest and think he's Tim Ripper Owens in that song.
Well, I had never heard Tim Ripper. I've heard him now, and no, I would never. But like, they got criticism for, you know, trying a few synth things, which I love. I love Turbo. I think everyone
I do
is
too.
way too mean to that album.
Yeah.
Leave It Alone. It's great.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
still sounds like Judas Priest. But then they were like, all right, well, it's not heavy enough. And then they threw out Painkiller and blasted everyone's face onto the moon.
I thought Firepower, the last album, was awesome, and I caught them with Steel Panther. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be good. He rides a motorcycle on stage.
And when he gets off, he like grabs his back because he's a million years old. They're way too old
My back hurts
to
and
still
I'm-
be doing this.
He had
Fucked up.
spinal surgery.
Oh, so he's good.
Like
He's got-
years
he's got a
ago,
new
like
back. He's fine.
and not that long ago either. It was probably within the past like 7 years. He had spinal surgery.
I think that just happens when you're really tall. Like if you're over 6 feet, your back is gonna whoa.
I'm going
Probably
for
doesn't
mine
help,
next
yeah.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
R.I.P. your old back. All right, so rumor and innuendo, and also Twitter and a lot of retweets would suggest that Matt Pike from High and Fire and Sleep, Alyssa Pike from Lord Dying, and a bunch of other bands, and also Brent Hinds from Mastodon are like maybe putting together a full-length album. E1 Records retweeted it with like a winky face. What are they doing?
Music, most likely, is what
Most
it sounds like.
Yeah. Or maybe they're just hanging out on a porch. You guys excited?
Just riffing on a porch. Yeah, I think it sounds like it's gonna be cool. I dig Mastodon. Matt Pike never wears a shirt, which is awesome. And
Yeah, I'm a fan of all three, I guess 4 of those bands. I mean, Lord Dying is excellent, really great sludge metal band.
Mm-hmm.
I love High on Fire. To me, they're like the modern day Motorhead. Like they totally like call to that. And obviously Sleep is just like reigns supreme as far as like doom and stoner metal goes.
Yeah.
Mastodon grooves. So I think what we're gonna get is gonna groove really hard. And I think you cannot go wrong with that mixture of musicians. This is something I'm really stoked for.
Brent specifically, over the last couple of years, has started so many side projects. He did the thing with Ben Wyman. He's doing the other thing where he's like wearing like a faceless mask and a fez. The Ben Wyman band was grunge, and the like a lot of these other bands seem kind of like bluegrass inspired. We could get something really weird out of this.
That's very true.
they were
Yeah.
like the photo they have is them like on a porch. I think Matt's playing like a ukulele or something. So maybe we're gonna get an acoustic record.
I always love to watch people branch out, especially, you know, when you're working with other musicians that
Yeah.
you
If
respect.
you're known for metal and whatever, like a supergroup is fun, but it's like it'd be cool with something that's not in their lane that they've already done, you know?
I feel like all 3 of them are very versatile too. I mean, you know, obviously Pike has been in 2 very different bands. Alyssa, any band that she goes in, she just rips and she just acclimates immediately. Actually, you know, you guys definitely are onto something. It's very possible we're gonna get something totally different, but I'm sure no matter what, with the talent behind it, it's gonna rip.
I just
Yeah.
hope that we get shirtless Matt Pike playing a ukulele.
Even the Grammys couldn't really get him to put on a shirt.
Wasn't it?
I'll give you one button, dude.
Didn't they get kicked off a Megadeth tour because like Mustaine wanted him to wear a shirt and he wouldn't wear a shirt?
Oh
there
my
was
God,
or there was
really?
there was something that happened where it was like
That sounds like
he felt
something
like he
that
was
could
getting
happen.
he was getting shown up.
What do you mean you're not wearing a shirt? Speaking of Matt Pike and stoner metal, The Sword is coming out of hiatus, I guess, to go on tour with Primus as they do a tribute to Farewell to Kings by Rush. That is the weirdest sentence I've ever said.
And then Wolfmother is also on the tour, so if you want to get real weird.
Yeah. I mean, the most I know of Wolfmother is
Mike Patton making fun of them.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't even know that much about them, so you guys are a little ahead of me here.
I'll go real quick that Mike Patton's being interviewed at a festival and Wolfmother's playing in the background, and mid-interview he's like, "What is this?" And I was like, "Oh, it's Wolfmother." He's like, "It's terrible." He just like goes off on it.
You hear
Amazing.
You hear this?
What year is it?
Oh, Mike Patton. I love him.
Anyway, Primus.
Dropping a Jumanji reference. Good
Primus
job.
and Sword together. Primus doing a Rush album.
How do you feel?
Good times.
Yeah, I mean, are you a Primus fan? Are
No.
you a Rush fan?
No.
I am definitely a Primus fan. Rush is one of those bands I have so much respect for. Just definitely harder for me, I think, to get into. But that does not mean by any means I dislike them. It's just, for me personally, not really into it. However, again, from being familiar with Rush, I know people who are very gifted drummers and bassists and guitar players who struggle to learn even a song. Yeah. So for them to go out there and try to tackle a whole album, I think is bold. And I think if any band can do it and has the chops for it, I think it really is Primus. They are also very outside the box and talented, and I think it'll work. I do.
Yeah. Do you like tribute shows in general, or like cover shows?
I like tribute shows as long as you don't have a hologram.
Yeah. I don't like robots. I don't like ghosts. Holograms, a robot ghost.
They like Rush is like a band's band, you know, and they're like definitely dudes who can shred. And I think bands who are like in that world of being super like, it's not something I'd be super interested in, but I think people who are going to be psyched on it.
Yeah, I also I thought you guys were going to touch on this a little bit, to be honest.
This is actually the one thing I'm actually like, oh, this is cool.
It's like I said, I don't care about it, but I think people are going to be psyched. Primus is actually one of my first concerts I went to.
But yeah, on YouTube, in a comment from John Baxter, he wanted us to talk about this tour and specifically the Sword coming out of hiatus. What are your thoughts on are you guys Sword fans?
I've heard, you know, their stuff over the years, and I think it's cool. You know, I was never super into it, but they're one of those bands that kind of started here, right, and went there. But I think that is a pretty natural progression for them, and I don't think that they deviated too far and too fast from their original sound.
Right.
But I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool that, I guess, Primus got them out of hiding.
That's just, again, another band that kind of escaped me. I feel like there was this period in metal where all these, like, kind of like groovin', like, soulful like rock bands came out. I can't really describe it, but like Baroness and Kylesa and those bands really spoke to me. But then you had bands like Red Fang and The Sword that I felt something about them just didn't really click with me like those others.
I think The Sword was like when I was like younger, I think it was the first time I saw like an orange amplifier, and I was like, that looks dope. And then it turns out they sound dope, which is great. So thank you, The Sword, for that. But every time I listen to, I've tried a million times to listen all the way through to like Age of Whatever, the one with the blue font, and it's like it's like the album that everyone tells you to listen to, and I get lost in it. I mean, I was like, I get it, Wizards, yep, I get it. A riff it sounds like Black Sabbath, and you're talking about Wizards, great. Love it.
I never get tired of that stuff. I could always listen to Wizardry and, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like you said, you don't have to pay super close attention. That you can kind of be like doing something and just kind of like, you know, zone out and while it's in the background.
There is the Kylesa and Baroness version of the stoner sludge business.
Right.
And the Red Fang, and I feel like I'm like, dude, I love saber-toothed tigers, but I don't need them for like 9 minutes.
Right.
You know?
I feel like I want to like these bands too, especially because some of Red Fang's videos are some of the funniest music videos.
Oh my God.
But again, I just can't get into the music, and I feel like they're bands I should like, I want to like, something is lost on me.
All right, well, Body Count is in the house.
Always.
Yeah. Listen, they put out a new video for a song called Bum Rush.
Really excited for another Body Count record. Will Putney produced it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Can't go wrong with Mr. Putney. Yeah, the video's sick. I wish I was in that video.
Yeah.
Just like taking over the news station. Bum rushing the news station,
It was
if you will.
probably this set.
I think it was.
Yeah, they just they had a coffee table.
I was off that day. I didn't get in.
Yeah. I saw some complaints about the first song that they released, and I think it's, again, just people being mad about like bands trying stuff. I love Body Count. I love them so much. Me and my dog have matching Body Count battle vests.
Yes.
That's amazing. That is adorable.
Ice-T doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't need to try. at this age, but he is.
His whole band is cool too. The video, like they're all just like these old dudes and just ripping and just look cool.
Yeah, and it sounds different than early Body Count.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think like with the song before it, they brought some deathcore into it, but it was like aggressive in a fun way.
Yeah.
They're doing like a break, like just the Body Count breakdown was so, I wanted to spin kick in the deli. It was so, and then they did it again. I'm like, yeah, I wanted you to do it again.
Should we go to, they're playing Webster Hall in May, I think. Should we spin kick a hoagie?
The Harley Cro-Mags, I think, are opening. So it's going to be
I saw one of the Cro-Mags
Everyone's going to have a knife. It'll be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see what
Hooray.
you did there.
Carcass is making a new record. That's it. That's all they just put that text out on all their social media.
Did you see that the Used are releasing a record called Heartwork?
No, are they? Oh no.
That's my contribution to this Carcass piece.
What?
Yeah. So maybe Carcass will like call their record like The Taste of Ink or something. I just up Jordan's day.
I'm proud of you.
All right, I'm coming back. Bert, stay in Australia. Come on, man. All right, let's talk about Carcass. I'm thrilled for Carcass to put out another album. Surgical Steel is a masterpiece. They're the funniest band I've ever interviewed. I'm in a bad mood now. Let's play a game.
No, wait. Before we play a game, I got commentary
Okay.
on the Carcass. I'm
Yeah.
really stoked for this. What I really, again, I think a few times I've mentioned, not a huge death metal fan, but they put this they put so much melody into it. For the most part, I love Carcass. And I think this is a great example of a band that takes time to put care into albums. I feel like we just see bands that I'm like, didn't they just put out a new album? What do you mean they're putting out a new album again? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I just got a new album from them. Carcass is that kind of band where they go away, but it's worth it because they are putting so much TLC into that record. So I'm stoked, man. I really am.
It hasn't been my thing previously, but I will take the new album for a spin.
All right.
All right, well, speaking of heart work and, surgery and whatever, we're going to play a little game called Death Metal Lyrics or Diseases. On this iPad right here, I have some words, and we're going to try to guess whether they are death metal lyrics or symptoms of a horrible disease.
All right.
Ready to go?
Love the good game.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to do it in a death metal voice. Here we go.
Face turns blue, swallowing blood, loss of breath.
Oh my god. I'm gonna go with.
Oh my God! Wow, this is harder than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go. Can you stop?
I have a disease. I gave myself the disease.
I'm gonna go with.
Yes.
All right now.
Two.
I'm gonna go with the symptoms of a disease.
I'm gonna say disease too. This is only the first one. It's harder than I thought it would be.
I'm gonna go with lyrics on this one.
The producer picked a disease that you have.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh no! It's gasping for
it's an
air
autopsy song.
from Autopsy.
Damn.
You wanna read the next one?
This one's sick.
Duh.
Bone deformity, dull ache, fractures.
All right, that's definitely a disease.
That's a disease.
It has to be.
If
What
this,
do you
if
think?
this isn't a disease, we're roasting whichever band this is.
Yeah. This is
That's
osteoporosis.
not creative.
And the big reveal.
Oh,
Fibrodysplasia?
That'd also be a band
Disorder
name.
in which skeletal muscle and connective tissue, such as tendons and ligaments, are gradually replaced by bone.
Oh.
I think Mick Mars has that, actually.
Oh, real? Are you being real?
Oh. Yeah.
It's my serious face.
Oh, shit. Mick, I'm sorry. I thought that he had like a disease where his, I don't know, where his hat got bigger.
Oh my God! What is this? Miasmic? Oh, wow,
I
I
don't know how to
can't
pronounce
talk.
that
I don't
word.
know words. Miasmic?
Miasmic?
Miasmic fungus infects the small intestine. Juices burn through the stomach wall. Maturing boils.
Oh,
I love a good maturing boil.
Definitely a lyric. I
No,
mean,
this is a disease.
you think this is disease? I think it's a
I'm
lyric.
going
This is the one he
What are you
has.
gonna say? What are you gonna say? This is a disease you have.
It's gotta be disease.
It's
Really?
It's very descriptive.
Miasmic fungus infects the small intestine. Like that'd be the. I mean, if it's
unless
not a
it's-
song, I'm stealing that from my band.
Yeah, unless it's blood incantation with the thesaurus.
Ooh,
No.
Yeah.
This is a disease.
I'm gonna say it's a song. I'm gonna say it might be a Carcass song.
You're a maniac.
Oh, Carcass! It's Carcass.
Is it actually?
Oh
Carcass
my
ruptured
God.
in purulence.
They're just reading the Grey's Anatomy?
Now I'm definitely listening to the Carcass record.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, yes. So actually, I really want to talk about, I don't know about you guys, but I went into like hardcore like investigative sleuth mode last night when I saw that there's a cryptic message on Marilyn Manson's Instagram. And basically, he left some phrase in Latin that I don't actually even remember. That wasn't really the important part. But the hashtags are really where the important part was, because he hashtags Black Sabbath, Born Again, which is one of their later studio albums, actually last studio album that Bill Ward ever played on.
Right.
And the drummer. On top of that, he said something, you have no idea what's coming. So naturally, like, Metal Press took this and ran with it, and they were like, is it a new album? We think it's a new album. I don't think so. But before I get into what I think, have you guys looked into this? And what is it that you speculate this could be?
I'm going to start a rumor right now.
Me too. Go on.
That Marilyn Manson is the new singer of Black Sabbath.
Holy crap.
Ozzy's sick. They're hitting the road.
I didn't even think of
they're
that
hitting the road
one.
with Manson on vocals. I'm kidding. That's not happening.
That might be.
That's
I
just
don't
the rumor I
know.
want to
Weird
start.
things have happened. That's not my guess, but that's a good one.
I'm here. I did not look into it. I'm when it comes to industrial music in general, I kind of like the more goblin-y version of it, like a Rob Zombie
Okay.
or whatever. If anyone does the Peter Steele sexy voice and isn't Peter Steele,
I don't
know
think he
what
has
to do
a
with
sexy
it.
voice.
I
I mean,
like, if
Peter
you're doing
does,
like
but
a,
not Manson.
If that's your like singing industrial, I know I'm not. I can't do it. Do you know what I'm talking about? The like,
Yeah.
yo.
See, I think Pete Steele has a sexy voice. I would not say that about Manson.
Pete
But I love
Steele
Manson.
Sounds like a
I
vampire.
think it's like we all see like a gorgeous vampire when we look at pictures, but that's a man who has fought outside of many 7-Elevens. And it's great.
And yeah, he hasn't lost.
Yeah.
Truth. But anyway, my personal theory is, I don't know if and obviously you guys made it a little clear you haven't really been following Manson. I have, and he's just put out a couple of cover songs. He covered a Doors song, and he covered a Johnny Cash song, which also ties into he's working with Shooter Jennings, the son of Waylon Jennings, an outlaw country performer. I think that he's going to be covering a Black Sabbath song, but I think it's going to be an obscure one from Born Again. I don't think it's a new album, and I don't think it's a new album because the hashtag, you have no idea what's coming. We know a new album is coming because he's been talking about it.
Right.
So that's my personal theory. I kind of hope you're right. And then another kind of theory that I thought about is maybe someone from Black Sabbath is going to perform with him.
Bill Ward's playing with him. Since
Yeah,
he's not
like
playing
maybe
with,
Bill
with
Ward.
Those guys, right?
I noticed, the lovely commenters seem to have a problem with the fact that I enjoy Black Sabbath with a variety of different singers, including Ian Gillan, who, by the way, is one of the most successful singers of Deep Purple. You know him from Smoke on the Water. And he also performed on Born Again, just a fun fact. In any case, get woke. All singers are better than Ozzy in Black Sabbath.
Ooh.
Oh, I don't know. About
Hot
that.
take.
They are. He can't sing. He does not have a singer's voice, but the rest do.
I mean, he can sing. He's got like a very unique voice. Oh my God, I'm defending Ozzy and Black Sabbath. This is the first time this has ever happened. I like some Deep Purple. Born Again is crazy. That's a crazy album. I heard it for the first time.
It's great.
Last year. It's bananas.
It's dark. It's just, and look, Ozzy is
really?
iconic because he was the first. He helped define and make that band. That doesn't mean he was the best. And I think we all need to get over that and, And for the record, for those of you who say, I don't know what I'm talking about, number one, keep the hate coming. I want to be hated. Being liked is a lot of pressure, so I appreciate that. But second of all, I didn't work with Eddie Trunk for 13 years not to know a thing or two about Black Sabbath a little bit more than you do.
But isn't the last song on Born Again, isn't that like a 9-minute ballad of like, I'm sorry, my wife, I'm sorry I keep f***ing people. That's not that's a hair metal song. That's dark for stepdad reasons.
Fair
Yeah.
point.
Speaking of Ozzy and his beautiful, unique voice, there's a new Ozzy record, Ordinary Man. It's produced by Andrew Watt, who is Post Malone's producer. He's a pop music producer. I think he nailed this album, even though he, for a second, thought that he didn't. There's like a famous story about it where he played all of the songs that he was writing for Ozzy, and Ozzy was like, okay, great, and got up and left, and Andrew was like, what have I done? And because like his specialty is writing stuff for other people, so that's like someone sending food back to a chef.
But
Oh,
then,
no.
Yeah.
but then the next day he gets the text from Ozzy. want you to do my record.
Love it.
I love stories like that. I really do.
A feel-good story.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Good for you, Andrew Watt. Good for you. Ordinary Man.
Ordinary Man.
I think it's
Weird
awesome.
title.
I think it's really cool.
It's a
The
sick
song
album.
with Elton John. You want to have a little cry in the bathtub?
The whole
Put
album's
that one on.
sad.
Yeah. The only thing I feel is missing is there's no pick squeals, which I feel like is a very
I miss
But
Zach.
that's-
the lack of Zach.
I loved that there were no squeals or anything, because I think every Ozzy guitarist, the ones that are great, they have a specific sound, and I like that. Andrew is bringing his own sound.
I'm dying to know how he records vocals.
I-
In the year 2020, I feel like he's got to get in there and do like 2 lines, sit down,
Yeah.
do
I
2
do-
more, and then like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow for the next song, or see you in 2 days. That's that's speaking from somebody who does the same thing as a young man recording vocals.
Vocals are hard.
Yeah.
I did 3 lines and I had to die. We derailed the game for a second. But
It's not easy.
But I do think there is that element to it. Like, I think the album is really fun and really sick, and it has elements like there's so many pieces of it that take me back to like, oh my God, this is No More Tears. Yes, hell yeah. But then there are moments where, because of the high production value, which is just a part of like 2020,
Yeah.
I think that I'm curious to see how the album does as the weeks go forward. I'm curious to see if people really love it.
I'm seeing
because-
positive reviews all across the board.
Yeah.
I think, too, there's a lot of sentimental value in this album because lyrically it really feels like an epilogue.
Right.
And knowing the condition Ozzy's in now, I think we're all kind of like, this is his swan song, and we're all just honoring it as such.
I just saw something where like he said something about wanting to do another record like next month or something,
Yeah, I saw that, too.
and I was like, whoa.
Damn.
Just cranking him out. Like I don't think, as sad as it is, like he's actually supposed to do the Judas Priest like December in Europe. I don't think he's ever gonna tour again.
No.
I
I hope I'm wrong, but I just feel like maybe he's got another album in him after this one, and he can do that. But like, I don't know.
you don't, Ozzy, you don't need to tour. You've given us so much.
I know. I know
this-
I've been hard on Ozzy, but seriously, at the end of the day, the man is a living legend. And we all had to watch Lemmy die. Can we please let Ozzy die in peace? Like, that's what I ask. I never again want to go to a show or see a show and see one of our heroes struggling on stage because he's dying. Like, and not that I'm saying Ozzy's dying, but he's old, he's frail, like he should retire and have that peace.
I think tour is one thing. I think play shows if you feel up for it. I
Yeah.
feel like, but a tour is grueling. Show up,
Play
your
a
festivals,
festival here and there.
do the festivals,
Yeah.
and even on this album, I mean, like because of the production, like I'm gonna hear some criticism to it. There is the feeling of it is so produced that there is like an uncanny valley. There are times in the album where it feels like a robot is giving me an Ozzy album. At times where it's like
Just what you're saying, I think it's just so apparent Zach is missing from this album. And, we've had Zach on the last however many Ozzy albums. He's become such a staple in the band. And I definitely felt that the new dude was just trying to be Zach, but just failing. Like, it felt like the poor man Zach on guitar. And maybe that's just a personal criticism because I just love Zach so much that it's hard for me to kind of cope that he's not in the band.
Yeah.
right.
But that definitely also made the album fall a little short for me.
I think because Andrew Watt is like a pop producer.
He's not. Okay, real quick, I just wanted to also make one more point. We talked about Deep Purple already today, and I need to talk about Deep Purple again. Andrew Watt, like 8 years ago, maybe sooner than that, I have no concept
Yeah.
of time. We'll say between the past 6 and 8 years. He was actually in a band
band with
called
him, right?
California Breed
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Glenn Hughes. And that's how I feel he got his start. And honestly,
Yeah.
to see what he's done since then, I didn't like everyone's like making a big deal. I'm like, that guy really? I'm like, holy crap, what has he been doing? Like, wow,
Just
he's
writing
done a
Bieber-
lot.
just writing Bieber songs.
So I found that really interesting.
Dude, get that money. I would love. How do
I
you write a
agree.
Bieber song? I want to do it. Zach and Ozzy always felt like Zach and Ozzy. Like it was a Zach song more than it was like an Ozzy song, and Ozzy's on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
This feels like someone really trying to write Ozzy songs. Like
Fair.
that, but that's also where I feel like it's so far in the future, and to get back to like what feels like 80s Ozzy, like what made it like the way the clean guitars sound, that's such a specific era. And I think that that's maybe where you're finding the disconnect, and I'm noticing like the uncanny valley, like, oh my God, a robot made this album. Ah!
Yeah, right.
We got an album from a new supergroup. It's full of hell, The Body, and Laguna Matata. Just kidding, it's Lingua Ignota. Kristen's projects always are haunting and powerful, and like as a man, it makes me want to throw my personality and out the window, but in a good way. And we also have a new Mondo Generator album. It's called
Phuket. It's about Thailand.
It's called Frigate.
Frigate.
What do we think?
It's really cool. I like it. It's funny, on the new promo photo or the Spotify header, Nick is wearing a Cro-Mags shirt, and vocally on this record, I think he's doing his best John Joseph on a lot of the stuff, you know? I got that, and speaking of curse words, Damien from the band F'd Up. I think vocally it's like John Brown and Negative Approach and like Damien. It's a very punk, hardcore influenced album, and I think it's cool. Oddly enough, I think the song Kyuss Dies might be my favorite, and it's cool. I like it.
Nick Oliveri
He is such a mess.
Such a mess.
I feel like everyone in Queens of the Stone Age is a mess, or at least half of the band.
Yeah, I love that. There's the whole story with him, like with them trying to reunite and do Kyuss Lives without Josh, and then they get a cease and desist. Yeah, no, he probably had the right to do it. He's an integral part of the band for sure. Kyuss dies! Like,
what is that?
He can't stop. He's just got to poke everybody.
Yeah.
He like makes a mistake and is like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm sorry, everybody. And then he goes and makes another
just the friend that you can't be like you can't get rid of him. You're just like, no matter how much he messes up, you're like, oh, that's Steve.
I like the songs that to me were a little more groovin', had a little more of like a 70s kind of feel versus like the punk rock ones. But I think that's what's good in the beauty of this album is that there's a lot of variety and a lot of different flavors. So if you're not really a fan of like the more like 70s, 90s leaning stuff, like maybe you dig the punk stuff or vice versa. So.
All right, guys, well, thank you for boarding the crazy train. That does it for this episode. Let's do plugs.
All right, I'm Katy Irizarry. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at MercifulKate. I am also do publicity and marketing in North America for Season of Mist. I'm a contributing writer for Loudwire, formerly have written for Metal Insider as well as Revolver, and I've produced Eddie Trunk's content for close to 13 years.
Maybe I should have went first. Travis Reilly. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm looking at you as if you're the camera.
I'm not a camera.
Maybe
he
is.
I have a spare head, but I'm not a camera.
At Travis Reilly, that's Reilly. I'm the singer of a very average punk metal hardcore band called This Is Hell. Not full of hell. This is hell.
You guys are good. Before I do my plugs, I want to tell you to check out a band called Loathe. They're really sick. Sounds like the Deftones getting eaten by a laptop. They're great. Love them. Please follow me at Mr. Jordan Olds on Twitter, at Dr. Mayer on Instagram. Follow 2 Minutes to Late Night at 2M2LN on Twitter, at 2 Minutes to Late Night on Instagram. You can follow us on all social medias at We Are The Pit. If there's something we forgot to talk about, or if you just want to roast Katy for her bananas Black Sabbath opinions, put them in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe. This has been Last Words. The Youth, don't call your album Heartwork. What are you doing? No!
No, don't go.
Bye.